Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So in today's video, we are going to take a look at the polls. We just did a prediction video. We did a video covering some recent polling yesterday as well. So why not combine the two concepts once again and fill out the election map based off of exactly what the polls are showing. This is not my prediction. This is just directly what the data is showing. Currently, nationally, Donald Trump has a lead. He leads nationwide over Joe Biden by 2.3 percentage points, and he has a record percent in the aggregate right now, 47.8. He barely ever polled above 45% in 2016 or 2020, and he's polling roughly 2 percentage points above his 2016 total, over around 1% of his 2020 vote share total. He's in a very good position nationally, but it doesn't matter if you're winning the popular vote, as we know from the 2016 and 2000 elections. What matters is if you win the Electoral College, because that's what dictates the election winner in this country. You have to get 270 to win. So in this video, we're going to be filling out the election map state by state. We'll actually be going in alphabetical order, seeing if Donald Trump is winning. Is he doing better than he was doing last month in the polls or not? We'll see. And we'll start off with Alabama. And Alabama has one poll. It is Trump winning easily. That's a safe red state right there. Alaska, showing Trump winning, but by less than 10. I think he still takes Alaska by more than 10, but just because the polls are showing it as a likely margin, we'll put Alaska in the likely Republican column. Then we have Arizona, which is a lot of polls there, so we have the aggregate right here, and it shows Donald Trump is winning the state by 5.5 percentage points over Biden. He is doing relatively well for the state, and that means we could put it in the likely Republican column. Up next, we have the state of Arkansas. Trump is winning that easily. And California, Biden's up by more than 10 in the state there. Then we have the state of Colorado, where Biden leads, but not by 10%. He leads by a likely margin, so we'll fill that out there. Then we have Connecticut, where the last poll shows Biden winning, but he's also winning by under 10%. So we'll put Connecticut in the likely column there. Up next, we have Florida, where Trump is leading by 5 to 10% in the aggregate there. So we could put that one as likely Republican. And that used to be a swing state, not so much anymore. In the state of Georgia, we could look at the aggregate here, and it shows that Trump is leading by 6.5 percentage points, a massive turnaround from 2020. We could put that in the likely column there for Donald Trump. So up next, we have the state of Illinois, where Joe Biden is currently ahead by around 10 points. The last poll had it as a likely margin. The poll before that had it as a 20-point win. So since it was like 9 and 20, we'll put it as a safe Biden victory, although I think it will be closer than it was in 2020. So up next, we have Iowa, where Donald Trump is leading the polls there by, it seems like, just a little bit over 10 points on average. That will be in the safe Republican column. And then we have Kansas, where it's also in the safe Republican column, as well as Louisiana. So Louisiana will go there. Kansas will go there. And actually, this is coming out of left field, but the state of Maine released a poll. Donald Trump is actually in the lead in the most recent poll there. And even in the poll before that, it shows that Donald Trump would only be down by 1 point. There's a lot of undecideds. It might not hold at the end of the day. The poll that had Biden up by 11 was taken before the midterms, so I wouldn't take that too much into account. But what it does show is, on average, Donald Trump is winning the state of Maine by a couple of points. He's winning the 2nd district safe, and the 1st district probably close to likely, but still safe on average of the polls we see. So that would be huge if Trump flipped Maine out of nowhere, but still, you know, we'll see if he's flipping Maine. He probably is getting New Hampshire and Minnesota as well, and the polls don't exactly show that, but there's a long way to go. If Trump's up in the popular vote by a few points, there's a chance for sure. So Maryland, Biden's winning Maryland and Massachusetts by a sizable margin, so we could fill those two states out in Biden's column there. And then we have the state of Michigan, where Donald Trump, his polling lead dipped a little bit. It came back to earth a little bit, but he's still leading by a sizable margin, 3.6 percentage points. And the polls in Michigan have underestimated Donald Trump by quite a bit, seems like, both election cycles. So Michigan goes in the lean Republican column because it's a 2 to 5 point lead for Trump. And then we can go directly to the state of Minnesota, where Donald Trump trails, but only by a few points. So that's a lean Democrat right there, subject to change. It's, I think, winnable on a very good night for Trump. It's more winnable for Trump than Florida or Texas are for Biden, in my opinion, especially with the high third-party vote share. So Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, all of those three states will be going in the safe Republican column, according to polling. And that's huge because we've seen polls in past election cycles that have Missouri and Montana close, but even there the polls are showing Trump's in a very good position. And surprisingly enough, Donald Trump has led every poll in the state of Nevada since October. And this is huge. He leads the aggregate there by 7.7 percentage points. Republicans have not won the state at the presidential level since 2004, but Trump is in good shape, it seems. He's doing better in the Las Vegas area. He's doing better with Hispanic voters, and you have a lot of conservative Californians moving to the Vegas area as well, which is kind of pushing the state to the right. So is it possible he wins it by that much? It'd be very surprising, but I think he is the favorite. But because the polls have him up by 7, it'll be a likely Republican state. So up next, we have New Hampshire, where the polls are showing Biden up by, it seems like 5 to 10 on average, which is a little bit of an anomaly. Either the polls in Maine are off or the polls in New Hampshire are off, it would seem. Because the two states are kind of similar. Maine's been more liberal than New Hampshire. I think that could change, but still, one would anticipate the states to vote similar. But because the polling shows this, we're going to go with this. And here we go. New Mexico, Biden's leading by, it seems like 5 to 10 on average there. That'll be in the likely Democrat column. New York, we have Biden leading by, it seems like on average, around less than 10. I know it's the same poll, but still, New York, could it be closer than people think? You have a lot of voters in New York that are fed up at the state of affairs right now, and you kind of saw that in the midterms a bit. It's possible the state could turn right. Could it be under 10? On a good night for Trump, it's possible. The one poll that has it under 10 was pretty accurate in the midterms, so there's that. Up next, we have the state of North Carolina, which we have in the aggregate on RCP, and Donald Trump is leading that by 5.7 percentage points. Polls in North Carolina have underestimated Trump, actually, but still, this will go in the likely Republican column. So up next, we have the state of Ohio, where Trump is leading the polls by more than 10 points, which puts it in the safe column, as well as Oklahoma. So Donald Trump will get Ohio and Oklahoma in the safe column, according to polling. Then we have Oregon, which right now is safe Biden, so we will fill that out. And then we have the state of Pennsylvania, which this is kind of skewed by an outlier, but still, Joe Biden has a very narrow lead in Pennsylvania. I think it's subject to change. I think Trump is the favorite in Pennsylvania, but just because polls are showing this, and this map is a polling map in this video, Pennsylvania will be tilt Biden just by a hair. But up next, we have the state of Rhode Island, where Biden's up by a safe margin there. And then we have the state of South Carolina and South Dakota and Tennessee. Trump is up in all 3 of those states there, so we could fill those out. Trump crossed the 200 electoral vote mark. He's inching closer to 270. Then you have Texas, where Donald Trump is leading the polls by 5 to 10 percentage points. Put that in his column. That's a big prize right there. 40 electoral votes puts him at 242. Then you have the state of Utah, which will be safe in the Republican column for Donald Trump. Then you have Virginia, which is actually lean Biden. Trump possibly could be turning a corner in the state right there. So up next is the state of Washington, where Biden's up by a safe margin, and we could fill that out. And then we have the state of Wisconsin, which we have in the aggregate here and it shows that Trump is leading by 1. Keep in mind the polls underestimated Trump in Wisconsin by like 6 to 7 points in both 2020 and 2016. So if he's leading the polling aggregate there, that's absolutely huge. And I think that might be it for the states that have polling, but we do have enough data to fill out this map just based on the way these states usually vote. We'll fill it out based on how they voted in 2020. Actually, even though it's subject to change, especially in like, maybe New Jersey becomes under 10, or maybe Nebraska's second gets closer, but still, we're going to fill these out the way they voted in 2020. I did see a poll out of Kentucky that had Trump up by 30 there. I don't know why that wasn't included, but still, Vermont is safe. We'll fill out all of these states in the Democrat column, and Nebraska's second will be likely Dem just because it was in 2020, and Hawaii will be safe Dem, even though I think the margins will narrow there. So here you go. In the polling map, Donald Trump leads, which has really never been the case during his entire political career until now. He would best Joe Biden 295 to 243. He would win the popular vote by 2.3 percentage points, which is kind of unheard of for a Republican to even win it, let alone by that margin. I think that Donald Trump would be favored in Pennsylvania, but just because this is a polling map, this is the way it's going to look here and now. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.